Hey Holderness, it's me, Father Hill. Look, I know I said I was going to be finished with my vlog for the summer, but I'm coming to you this morning with a really heavy heart. Today is a feast day in the church. It's what we call the day of Pentecost. It's a day that we look back on as kind of the birthday of the church, the day when the Holy Spirit, the same Spirit that descended upon Jesus at his baptism, descended upon Jesus' followers, and they had flames, tongues of fire that rested upon them and caused them to speak and decipher languages that they previously had no knowledge of. And I hope we don't get caught up in our disbelief of the miracle here, and more that we can see the meaning of what Pentecost looks like, what the beginning of the church looks like, which is a vision of the world where we understand each other, aside from our differences, where we can overcome the things that separate and divide us, where we can actually hear the hearts, where we can speak our truth and be heard, and overcome those things that separate us. And that's a message that, to me, seems more relevant for a day like today in the world we're living in, especially given the news of all the protests that have turned violent, and all of the rioting and looting and all of the outrage and anger that has overtaken so much of our public discourse and our divisions. And I just wonder if the message of Pentecost isn't exactly what we need. Is there a prayer that we can pray on this day for the Spirit of God to come and to enliven our hearts, so that tongues of fire enable us to speak and to be heard, and to just sometimes shut up and listen and hear the experiences of others, so that we can connect our hearts and we can understand each other and overcome those differences. So I don't come to you this morning with answers. There are probably some really meaningful actions we can take as a community. And I know that we have a really capable and passionate Director of Equity and Inclusion, and Jenny Sparkman. And I know she's working right now to put together some concrete things for us to look into together as a community. We don't know what it will look like, but we know it can't be the voices of a few people. It has to be a collective effort. So be on the lookout for that, and just know that my heart is with all of you today. Whether you are sympathetic to the outrage of the rioting and the looting, or whether you are adamantly opposed to it, understand that in God's eyes we are all one family, and that we have to have a vision where we can overcome that difference. We have to have a vision where we can see each other as children of God and affirm one another's truth. And so with that in mind, I just offer you this Pentecost blessing, and I hope that you are well today. God bless you, and pray for the world. Amen.